Hare Krishna. We are in the fourth chapter of Bhagwat Gita, and the name of this chapter is Transcendental Knowledge, which means it's the knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In the very beginning of this chapter, Krishna said that he gave the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita first to Vivasvan, who is the king of the sun planet, and Vivasvan gave the same knowledge to Manu, who is the father of the mankind, and Manu passed on the same knowledge to Ikshvaku, in whose dynasty Lord Ram appeared. Vivasvan, Manu, Ikshvaku were all Kshatriyas. So it's very clear that the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was given to them so that they may rule perfectly. Until now, Vivasvan is doing all his duties perfectly well under the guidance and orders of Krishna. Now we know the history and importance of Bhagavad Gita. In today's verse, Krishna is going to tell something very important to Arjun. So now let's first recite the verse number 15 of chapter number 4. Evam gyatva kritam karma purvairapi mumukshubhi kuru karmev tasmatvam purvairpurvataram kritam. Evam gyatva kritam karma purvairapi mumukshubhi kuru karmev tasmatvam purve purvataram kritam. Evam, thus, gyatva, knowing well, kritam, performed, karma, work, purvaih, by past authorities, api, although, mumukshubhi, who attained liberation, kuru, just perform, karma, prescribed duty, ev, certainly, tasmat, therefore, tvam, you, purvaih, by the predecessors, purvataram, ancient predecessor, kritam, as performed. Krishna is telling Arjun that all the liberated souls in the ancient times acted with this understanding and so attained liberation. Evam gyatva kritam karma purvairapi mumukshubhi. Therefore, as the ancients, you should perform your duty in this divine consciousness. Kuru karmev tasmatvam purve purvataram kritam. Prabhupada says that whenever Krishna says tasmat, it means that now Krishna is coming to the conclusion. And now we need to be very alert to listen to each and every word of Krishna, because Krishna is the speaker and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Before we start understanding today's verse, let us go a few verses back. In the previous verses, Krishna told Arjun that one who will understand that Krishna's birth and activities were all divine will never come back to this material world after leaving their present body, which means he will eternally live in Krishna's abode, Golok Vrindavan Dham. Then further Krishna said that he created this material world which is bound by the three modes of material nature. And each one of us are entangled in these three modes, that is, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. And Krishna wants each one of us to rise above these three modes and take the devotional path of Krishna Bhakti and get permanently freed from the endless cycle of birth and death. Srila Prabhupada says that until we take to Krishna Bhakti, there is no way to escape from the clutches of Maya, which is the external energy of Krishna. Till we serve Krishna, Maya will not leave us. For this, Krishna told Arjun to work in a manner so that he is neither attached to his work nor he is attached to the result of his work. When Krishna said this, Arjun seemed not to understand it properly. So, in today's verse, which is the verse number 15, Krishna is giving the examples of the great kings who were his disciples and how they understood and followed his instructions while doing their duties and got liberated. To explain this point in detail, Srila Prabhupada says that there are broadly two categories of people. The first category is of those people who have polluted hearts. Now, what does polluted heart mean? Srila Prabhupada explains polluted heart means when one wishes to do all kinds of sense gratification for the bodily pleasures and comforts, which means wanting to accumulate material things like luxurious home, stylish clothes, and various electrical appliances for one's own comfort and pleasure, like TV, fridge, AC, microwave, washing machine, mixie, and many more things, and not having any thoughts about how to serve Krishna by these things. This is called materially contaminated heart. And the other category is of those people whose heart is absolutely free from all kinds of material pleasures and comforts and is always absorbed in the thoughts of serving Krishna with everything that he has. Srila Prabhupada says that to have a good house or a good car and all the luxuries of life is not bad at all. But all of this should be used to serve Krishna. To make us understand, Srila Prabhupada gives us the example of various parts of the body, like the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, hands, legs, etc. etc. All are working for the satisfaction of the stomach. And when the stomach is happy and satisfied, then the entire body is also happy. Similarly, in a tree, the roots take the necessary minerals, water from the soil, and then the trunk and the branches reaches it to the leaves, where the leaves cook food with the help of the sunlight, and then it is equally distributed to the entire tree. So we see these examples that when every part does its duty in a proper manner, then there is good health, peace, and happiness. We human beings are serving day and night, either in a government or in any private institutions, or maybe serving our own family members or the society or even animals. Each one of us are serving someone or the other at the end of the day. And the main reason behind this serving attitude is this, that we are originally the part and parcel of Krishna, and the part is actually meant to serve his higher authority. So, serving is compulsory. We will definitely serve, Now we have to decide whom to serve. If we become Krishna conscious, which means that everything belongs to Krishna and should be used for the pleasure of Krishna, then we, being the part and parcel of Krishna, we automatically become happy and free from the reactions of our actions. But if we want to become happy without making Krishna happy, then we are under the spell of illusion, like our hands, legs, eyes, ears, nose, or tongue. Being separated from the main body can never be happy. Same goes for us as well. If we wish to become happy without Krishna, it is impossible. And this is the great cause of material entanglement, from where Krishna wants to free us, which is why he said today's verse, where he said that in the past many people have freed themselves just by doing their prescribed duties under the guidance of Bhagwat Gita. And the examples given to Arjun are of Vivaswan, King Janak, and King Parikshit. We have discussed about Vivaswan, how he rules over all the planets by giving them light and heat, and all the other planets rotate around sun. Even King Janak, whose one name is Videha, which means someone beyond the bodily concept, and doesn't want anything from this material world, yet performed all his duties perfectly well just to set an example in front of his people. And the most important example of detachment is of King Parikshit, who, when came to know that he has only 7 more days in life, then King Parikshit, who was the Chakravarti Samrat, which means the king of the entire world, did not take even a second to leave everything. Think that what will happen to his kingdom after him. He just gave instructions to his ministers from the gate of his palace to make his son the next king, and he immediately moved to the banks of river Ganga and urged Sukdev Goswami to suggest him as to what he should do and what is the best for a dying man. Shukdev Goswami immediately advised King Parikshit to listen to Bhagwat Katha, from where the tradition of Bhagwat Saptah has begun. Now, to summarize today's verse, Krishna advised Arjun to follow the great disciples who are already liberated, and by doing so, Arjun will also not get attached to his actions and the result of his actions. And we all know that Krishna wanted Arjun to fight only to make Krishna happy and not because of any other profit or loss. This secret is taught to Arjun so that we learn how to work only for the happiness of Krishna and not get attached to either the work or the result of the work. Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna did not allow Arjun to leave his prescribed duty, but he taught him to do his prescribed duty without getting attached to the work and to the result of the work. So, all the people who think that they can leave their prescribed duties according to the Varnashram Dharma without being properly trained in Krishna consciousness are actually foolish people. These people are called foolish or unintelligent because no one of us can ever be without serving even for a minute. If one doesn't serve anyone else, then too he has to serve his own body to keep it clean and healthy. So, serving is compulsory, but whom we serve is a choice. Parikshit Maharaj utilized all his time and senses only to listen about Krishna and got liberated and went straight to Krishna's abode, Golok Vrindavan Dham. Srila Prabhupada says that in Bhagwat Gita, we have to study about 5 factors. The first factor is Ishwar. The second is nature, which is the external energy of Krishna. The third factor is Jeev, which means all the living beings. And the fourth is Kal, which means past, present, and future of each one of us. And the last and the most important factor is Karma, which is the action. The first 4 factors are unchangeable. Whether we like or not, whether we accept or not, Krishna is going to remain the ultimate supreme God. Then we can't change the nature also. Can't change any living being, past, present, and future of all the creatures. One thing we can do and change, and that one thing is karma. Complete independence to choose our own actions. And Krishna, like the most loving and compassionate mother, is teaching each one of us by giving us excellent examples as to how can we liberate ourselves while doing our material duties. And Krishna is telling us all this because no one can be happy in the bondage. A bird can never be happy in the cage because its original nature is to fly in the open sky, and we are all spirit souls. And at present, bound in this material body and the material world. And if we think that we can become happy by using all material things without offering it to Krishna, who is the real proprietor of everything, then it's the greatest illusion. So let's all listen to Krishna and understand Krishna's teachings from Srila Prabhupada and get liberated from all kinds of material attachments. Now, in the next verse, Krishna is further going to simplify and tell Arjun as to exactly what Arjun needs to do. I thank Srila Prabhupada and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Harimohan Das Prabhuji, for guiding each one of us continuously. And I thank all my listeners for attentively listening to Bhagavad Gita shloks. Now we shall meet the next week with a new shlok. Till then, I request all of you to read Bhagavad Gita, to listen to Bhagavad Gita shloks, and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the only mantra which is being given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by chanting this Mahamantra, we will clean our contaminated heart and become Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,